So now we have this user model. All we need to do is go back into our views for this single page and work with the stuff that's coming through here. So I'm going to just make some space here for it. And I'm also going to import this user answer class. Okay, so now that we've got this, we are going to create a new user answer. So new user answer equals to answer or user answer. And this is creating an instance for it. So I'm going to show you a couple ways on how you can actually create this. And then we'll say new user answer dot user equals to request dot user. And we know we can use this because the user is authenticated here. And then new user answer dot we'll say my answer is equal to answer ID. So that also means that we're going to need to get the answer itself. So answer.objects.get, and this is ID equals to answer ID. Right? So then we want to do answer importance. So I'll go ahead and copy this and paste it below. And we'll say my answer importance. And this is coming from our fields over here. Right? So these are all of those fields that we're doing. And the next one, go ahead and copy these and paste it right underneath. And we'll change it to their answer. And then their answer importance. Okay. So a couple things we don't have are their answer or my answer importance as well as their answer importance. And that's really all we would need here as far as the stuff is concerned, except for we also want the question. So new user answer dot question equals to the question instance. And then after all that, we could do new user answer dot save. So this is creating an instance. This is saving that instance. So since it's creating an instance, it doesn't mean it's saved in the database or anything like that yet. It's just creating it and going through there. So now we need that answer importance from the form itself. So going back into the forms, we had coworker and all this. So I'm going to change this again to being their answer because we want to keep it, kind of. It doesn't matter if it's coworker or if it's like a date or something like that. It's just we want to use their answer instead. So that also means that we want to change these to their answer and their importance level. Their answer importance level, of course, it's not actually their importance level. So now that we've got this, we are going to go back into our view and we want to get those things. So we'll say answer. So this is going to be my answer. Answer importance equals to form.cleandata.get, and it'll be answer importance. And we'll say the same thing for their answer importance. So we called it their importance level, not their, there we go. So it's actually importance level. Copy those, okay. And then the last one is their answer ID. So their answer ID is form.cleanedFormData or cleanedata.get, their answer ID. All right. So since we have this, I'm going to put these in order of the form itself. And then put the instances below that. Okay, so we've got the answer instance, and that's what we can use here. And we've got our importance level, which we can set here. And then we have their importance level, which we have here. We do not have their answer ID, so we'll say their answer instance equals to virtually the same thing as above, using their answer ID. And then finally, there we go. Okay. So now we have all of that data and we're actually going to be able to save it. So since we've done this, let's go ahead and try it out and see if it works. Server's running. We'll go and take a look at the question. Question 1. And I'll say your answer, yes it is. Not important. Your coworker's answer holds no importance. Well, we won't touch holds no importance just yet. but we'll do that, and then we'll say not important also, save and continue. So I have an issue with question ID here that's actually not working, so user question ID. So let's actually take a look at this, and that's coming right here. Question, we had a little issue with that, so if I refresh and save it, it's going to go through. So to check that, we go into the admin, and we see user answers, and there's our first user answer actually in there and actually saved. So that's cool. So now that we have that data, we can actually go through and save all the stuff, and all the questions will be great and work and all that. But there's still a few things that we want to think about here, and that is if their answer instance is -1, or their answer ID, that is -1, we want to leave this to being blank, and then we'll set their importance level to be not important at all. So I'll just go ahead and say if their answer ID equals to -1, or if it's not equal to -1, then we'll set this. Otherwise, so this is assuming that it is equal to -1, we'll say new answer, their importance is equal to not important, or let's go into models and actually grab that one, which is not important. And we go back in here, and let's go to questions, and I'll go to question 2, and I'll say holds no importance here. Leave it as in mandatory, save it, and it says answer matching query does not exist. Well, that also has to do with the their answer instance here. So let's go ahead and cut that and paste this here. That's exactly why we had to change it a little bit, because of that negative part. So I ran it and saved it again. So let's look at the admin one more time. User answers, true. And then notice their answer, it doesn't even matter what they put. It just saves it as not important. So their answer has no correlation at all. Okay, cool. So this is a good start, but we still have a few things that I'm a little worried about. One of them being, what if for some reason they were able to change this answer ID or something, or we deleted it in the time that they're answering it? We want to have some validations for the form itself, or when the clean data is coming through, to make sure that this data is good and these questions have been answered. So that's something we still need to do. The other thing is, if it's already been answered, so if this question has already been answered by someone, so let's say question 1, I'm this user, I've already answered this question. So that should mean that I should be able to see those results here. So that's something that I'll actually do right away in the next one. The other part of this is, how would we design this part to work if we weren't just doing this answer instance? So there is another way to do it, but it would kind of be a little bit more complicated, or a little bit more complex than it needs to be. So another way to create objects in the database is doing answer.objects.create, and then going through each required actual field and saving it that way. So this create call would actually create it and save it at the same time, where nothing's being saved until we actually say to explicitly save it. Cool, so that means we have these questions in this database, and we can actually work with them. So in the next one, we'll see what they actually answered, so they can edit those things, and then we will also come back and finish up a few other things. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.